So, Coach Kepley's going to talk to you today. I kind of left the door open for whatever he wants to kind of talk about. Coach Kepley is our wrestling coach here at Pratt Community College. He is also, if I remember right, the most tenured coach here at Pratt Community College also. You've been here the longest.
Maybe Kevin.
It's pretty close, but I think Kevin left and then came back.
It was a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, give it up, please, Coach Kepley.
All right, what do y'all want to know? I would, do you tell them to write down questions?
I told him to write down questions, but if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got here, what you've done, what you've accomplished, things like that, what you believe in.
Okay, Ken Kepley, I am from Concord, North Carolina, I didn't start wrestling until the 7th grade, which is abnormal to a lot of people. It's just like any sport. Most of the time you see like a professional athlete or a college coach, they started their sport when they were like 4 or 5 years old. I started in 7th grade. Went to Division I right out of high school. Wrestled at Appalachian State. Had 6 years eligibility because the coach liked me, I guess, but I was injured every single year, so that was something to learn from there. Most people would probably quit or something. I figured it was a time to learn how to coach, learn how to do things, because that's what I like to do. When I went to college, I didn't have if I can cuss, right? I didn't have a damn clue what I wanted to do. I got heavily recruited out of high school. I was nationally ranked 3 times in high school. I got recruited by the Big Ten and ACC, mostly East Coast. I got NAIAs, like everybody's gonna say do something. And I had no idea what a JUCO was either, because we don't have them on the East Coast very much. We do now. There's actually a community college that is connected to my high school, but we don't have sports or dorms. It's just a building with maybe a basketball court. We didn't have that there. So, came down to Davidson College, that's where Steph Curry went. It's like 20 minutes from my house. Duke University, Brown and Columbia, I got in there. Recently found a letter at my house when I was cleaning out the house and stuff that I had a scholarship offer from Ohio State at one point. Didn't know that. I think my dad hid stuff. He just wanted me to stay in state. So I ended up going to Appalachian State. That's where my dad went. I've known that coach for years. Learned everything that I know from there, and some teammates of mine and everything, and best decision I ever made. So how I got out here, well, one of my best friends, I'm a godfather of his kids, and one of my teammates is from Olathe, Josh Carroll. He was the head coach out here. He said, I need you out here. Okay, fine. Came out here, within a year he left. So stuck me out here. I came out here with a backpack and a suitcase, and that's it. I didn't have a car, nothing. So for the first year, my wrestlers would give me a ride to school. And my roommate, who was the softball coach, I remember Becky.
Absolutely.
Her husband let me stay in their basement, so I was getting rides from her over here. So that was really fun, a really fun year. Then I got a car, and then I started from there. When Josh left, the AD at the time, Kurt McAfee, said, I'm not even going to open up the interviews. I know you're the guy for the job because of what I did as an assistant coach when I was here. I basically did everything. Josh was more of the mayor, kissing babies, doing the spreadsheets, making sure admissions was being well. I was in the room doing the technique, being the assistant coach. And then since then, until this year, they dropped the assistant coach role or job position. I've been doing it by myself for like the last 14 years or 13 years. So that's pretty tough to do. I've had help from a guy named Jay Sweet, big guy, but he drives from Garden City to help me. So that kind of shows you how our program is. That somebody that is as credentialed as him internationally and high level, he wanted to volunteer and help us. So we went from being like a top 20 team every year, having one All-American, to an expectation of having like 4 or 5, 10 national qualifiers, 4 or 5 All-Americans, and every year we've had somebody in the national finals or multiple people in the national finals for like the last, I think 6 years. So growing a program like that is very, very, it's very hard, because at junior college you just have a bunch of shitheads sometimes. You got a lot of guys that talk the talk, but they don't want to do the right. I think that we have that type of culture here. The kids aren't perfect, but I've been asked to go up a level to the NCAA level. I don't like the way the NCAA is right now. I do think that you should be able to earn money, not buy a kid. I see that as slave trading. Hey, we'll pay for this kid. Like, there's got to be some ramifications or something. I do think that you should be able to earn money off of your hard work, but not because of somebody has more money over here, you can win a national team title. It doesn't ever work that way, and it hasn't yet. I think who was it, Auburn this year? They had the oldest team, and they made it pretty far. You pay a bunch of young guys, it's not going to work out. They gotta mesh well together. They gotta play a few years together. They gotta do that. Now, in individual sport, it's completely different. In individual sports like ours or track or something, they're getting agents now. You know, you're gonna work where you're gonna work. I do believe in, all right, I got recruited here by this. The assistant coach that recruited me, that was like my position coach or whatever, moves on, becomes a head coach somewhere else or something like that, and I want to enter the portal and go with him. I can understand that, but getting a bag in the portal is not what you think it is. Right now, for wrestling in Division I, Iowa is throwing like 250,000 kids and stuff like that, and they go 1 and 2 in the national tournament. That's not good. That's a waste of money, but people got money to waste like that. Schools like Appalachian State right now, my school, they had 4 guys placed at the national tournament this year, and they were in different uniforms. So they built them up, trained them. They're like the new JUCO now. They built them up, trained them, and now they just transferred to like Minnesota, Nebraska, and all these other different schools, and they all American. There were 4 guys at our national tournament that wrestled at Appalachian State last year. That's insane to me. So it's really hard right now for my school to go through that. So everybody always asks, why haven't you moved up? And I was like, I had an opportunity to move up. It was during COVID, and I didn't want to. And I was a finalist for a job, but then just didn't get it. Like, I didn't even want it. But then I got about 3 or 4 schools that call me a year, and I tell them I don't want to because what's their situation, what's their setup like? Am I going to have to deal with a kid one day walking through the door and saying, you know what, one of these lights in here is burnt out and it pissed me off. I'm just going to enter the portal today because I can't stay in this place. I don't have time for that. That shit pisses me off. So that's how people are these days. They'll find an excuse to make you look like the bad guy, or find an excuse to say that they're not developing because it's the coach's fault. And I can't stand that, because there are probably 10 guys that are actually loving it and doing it right, and then there's 1 guy that's being a punk about it, and it drives me nuts. And it's like, why can't you be like this guy? Okay, so that's kind of where we're at right now in my career. I could be here at junior college level for a while, but I'm not going to jump into another junior college. I like the tough task of recruiting here. We're not every program that is added in this state has gotten a new facility and everything, and you guys know we don't even have a locker room. And we're top 10. We've been in the top 10 for the last 6 years, but we've been top 4 out of the 4 years. Like 4 of those 6 years. The others we've been 8 and 9. So think about that. Like all these people with the bells and whistles, more money than us. People want to be around here for the culture. They don't want to be helped that we get more money. Larry's been doing a very good job about finding us resources, but I'm really heavy on getting Kansas kids. Really heavy on training Kansas kids all spring and summer. If you guys are in my class that I teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm never there really because I'm not recruiting or training kids or doing my job, my due diligence to the state. So I get a lot of in-state kids, so that creates more revenue for the college. That creates more scholarship money for us to go get some hammers and some other guys. I'll give you a prime example. One of my national champs, I think he placed the highest placing that he had in the state or at the state tournament in Kansas was 5th place. And he won a national championship for us. He beat a 2-time United States World Team member in the finals, and he beat a total of 11 state championships at the national tournament. So that's more important to me than anything. Is growing the state, and I'm not even from here. So that's kind of my philosophy and what we do with things here. So now that the landscape has changed at the 4-year level, it's more like Melton's getting 25,000 NIL. My job is to say, hey, you come here for 2 years or a year, I'm gonna get you more money. Whether that be a scholarship, okay, get your grades up, make sure you have above a 3.5 or a 3.6. That gets you more money, it cheapens the bill. Okay, then now with NIL money, you go to Division I, I can get you like 10 to 15 grand just based off of if you do everything that we tell you to. I don't even want to say we tell you to. If you do everything that we ask you to, you can be way up here. If you try to do the bare minimum, you're not getting shit. It's just not going to work out that way. If you try to meet in the middle, you won't even be a starter. So that's kind of like our philosophy here. A lot of kids get frustrated with that because, I narrowed it down to where I'm getting that old now. Melton, you're what, 20? 21 years old. Okay. Melton was born when I was 18. I was starting in 7th grade, 97. When were you born? What year?
2003.
2003. I've been doing this for 6 years before he was born, but I got kids that are freshmen walking in saying, you don't know shit about wrestling. That's insane to me. Okay, that's crazy. Just because I'm at a junior college. I feel like that's offensive to a lot of athletes because a lot of athletes appreciate this level because this level is for you. Not because it's talent, it's probably because of academics. But like, Melton's not shy. He'll tell you. You want me to tell him?
Yeah.
Okay. He has all the accommodations and all of the IEPs that you can think of. He's using his resources. He needed this level more than anything. Okay? And now look at it. He's even got his own tutor. I don't know if that means that he has some like little blonde white girl at Iowa State that's gonna do his homework for him. Don't know. I'm sure that's what happens in football or basketball there. But he has a person that he meets with every day because they wanted him that bad because of his talent level and what he did this year. Does that make sense? So with that, it's like people will find ways to get you if you're marketable enough, but also if you've earned it. So that's what we try to instill here at this program. But all in all, like that's kind of the philosophy that we have. This past year, I've won some accolades, some awards. I don't care about those. I'd rather have a team award at the end of the year. With academics, we've had the highest team GPA in the NJCAA for the last 12 years. Right now, we're sitting at like, after the fall, we're at a 3.55. So it should help us out a lot. We gotta finish the semester strong because everybody knows when the sun comes out, everybody wants to skip class. So it is what it is. But we check all the boxes here. The only boxes we don't check are the things I can't control. And if I can't control it, I don't really pay attention to it. It gets to you sometimes though. Like, oh shit, another leak in the wrestling room. Then I just go berserk off of just a little drip drop leak, but that leak has been there for 12 years. That leak's probably been there for longer than I've been here. And hasn't been fixed yet. But I can't do that because I got 40 knuckleheads coming in every morning working their asses off. I gotta look at the positives. you know, so it's not about what you don't have, because everything that we don't have that everybody else has, they don't have that. Okay, that's the best opportunity, that's the best situation to have, is to have somebody that has faith in you, somebody that has some love for you, somebody that has that appreciates you and does all the right things, and it's a pretty good example for the program. So if a coach brings you here, they see something, and if that coach is being a jerk to you, that means that they care, especially at this level. This level, people feel like, what is it? Last chance you use the way things roll around here, or at a JUCO, it's not. So we get a bad look sometimes. I even have 4-year coaches saying, you know, junior college, I was like, not us, we don't do that. I will tell you if that kid is a problem by him not being on the team probably. I will tell 100%, the God honest truth to a coach. Some coaches called about my heavyweight, I told them the truth. I'm like, you ain't ready yet. Well, why not? Dude can't show up on time consistently. He's a good kid, but he can't show up on time. You don't show up on time to the Division I level, which is the level that he came from. If you don't show up on time, guess what happens? You end up right back here. Or you're gonna end up at NAI where your bill's gonna be $40,000 off of a 50% scholarship. You don't wanna do that. You know what I mean? Not just an NAI, I'm just saying it's expensive as shit. Okay, so, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm trying to take care of these guys. It's not the next 2 to 4 years of their life, it's the next 40, because, you know, it is what it is. So, you guys got any questions? Ask questions, I'm terrible at the other part.
You have some questions? I know you do. There's some good ones out there. Get off your phone, man. We got a question over here.
I like this question first. Kind of hard to know these questions from this side. Do you focus more on technique, conditioning, or the mindset, and why? Of the program?
You know that he's not allowed to ask questions because he knows that answer.
But they don't.
Nick. All three. We have mentor meetings on Sundays, which, you know, this year, pretty tough group to do that with because nobody would step up and be a leader this year. That was our main problem. That's why we didn't finish where we were supposed to. At the awards banquet, you guys saw me say, like, I didn't know what the hell we were gonna do this year because of the lack of leadership, or what they probably thought leadership was. But they had pretty good examples the last 5 years of our program, if you've been paying attention, about who our leaders were. We didn't have an alpha in the room. We just had a bunch of guys just kind of, well, I don't want to yell at them because they'll be mad at me. Okay. Like, we had a guy last year on the team that did not give a shit what you thought about him. He demanded it. He put the team on his back. When he would lose, he felt like the team lost. You know, like all of those things. That's the type of person you need to be if you want to be successful or have a successful team. And it doesn't ever have to be the best guy on the team either. That's the problem with our society today. Everybody is waiting for you to fuck up. It's like, man, don't talk to me like that. You did this 2 years ago or something like that. It's like, all right, so who's the problem? Usually that results in a fist fight. Or usually that results in, you're going with me today type of thing. We get to put our hands on each other, so it's different. Baseball, I don't see you guys like taking a bat to somebody's head and like beating shit out of somebody with it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you just gotta outperform somebody. You just gotta outdo somebody. You gotta out-hustle somebody. We didn't have enough guys speak up, and I know like talk is cheap, blah, 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 blah. Non-leadership, you're gonna have to speak up, okay? A lot of people think I'm an asshole. A lot of my colleagues, the other coaches think I'm a huge asshole. I don't care. At least I'm gonna stand up for something. There are so many meetings to where nobody, none of the coaches will speak up because they're chicken shits and don't understand that, you know, this is about the kids. This campus is about the kids. Like, if we don't have kids here, we do not have an institution. You are the product. How can we make these kids happy? You you can't do that by saying, hey, we're gonna paint pumpkins tonight for a student activity. Ain't nobody in this damn room wanna paint some damn pumpkins. Okay? Like, I make my kids do it, and it's fucking hilarious, but, like, take them to Top Golf or something, like, send a van up there, send a bus, like, you know, do stuff like that, but at the same time, if your leadership doesn't listen to you, why speak up? You know what I mean? Like, they'll send out a survey, you gotta think, these motherfuckers don't care about us, I'm not doing it. That's kind of the thing. I think, our new Larissa, what's her last name? Eck, yes. I didn't want to say it because she's not from Mandel, so there's like 30,000 Ecks from Mandel. Okay, Larissa Eck, she's doing a great job with this. Okay, she's starting to find her way. We need those types of people on this campus. Not people saying, well, they're only here for 2 years, but I should leave and change that. You know how hard it was for me to get a sauna? It's like 5 years in the making. And they still haven't built a room around it because they think it's okay to just have somebody just sitting in the sauna in their underwear, whatever. I'm like, well, I gotta put a lock on it. You know, like, it's hard. It's really hard. So, they're expecting that to fail instead of how can we make this better? That's the difference, and I'm here to fight that. So with that mentality, if I'm doing that, and that's the type of leadership that I have, I expect that type of leadership. It's not toxic at all. People talk about mental health and toxic and all this stuff. It's like, man, if you do the right things and all that stuff, you won't stress yourself out to where you will not, to where mental health will not affect you. I think that people have mental health issues because they want to try to squeeze everything in instead of doing A, B, C, and D. There's no 1A, 1B, 1C. Like, you gotta quit negotiating with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta quit saying, it's like, man, I worked hard yesterday, I'm gonna sleep in a little bit. Why? You just wake up again and do it again and then sleep and nap throughout the day and just develop a routine. Even here at some like, think about it. I had a recruit in yesterday, his stepmom was in Kuwait for a year. You don't think she had to make adjustments? So when you come here and you see your buddies at Hutch or you see your buddies anywhere else, it's like, oh, their training room is huge. They got like 20 trainers. They got this, this, and this. It's like, who gives a shit what they have? What do you have? How can you make this better? You know? Talk to your coach and say, hey, whatever. Like I talked about getting our own Normatech sleeves. So I talked to Jake about getting our own stuff. You guys seen our room, we got like 20 TVs in there, PlayStation, all kinds of stuff. I wanna make it right before these guys get a hold of it, but that's something that I have to do because we don't have a locker room. But it's cool when people come and visit us and they see the TVs up, it's not even on. They're like, what the hell's going on here? They just have a new wrestling room with new mats and a locker room. They don't have anything else to bring stuff together. That's what the fundraising comes from. So that's the type of leadership that people need to have. I think that right now it's like, I don't even think locker rooms or anything matters anymore. I think it's like, how much money can we get? But the really good teams in the country are looking for the leadership from their, like, money's a part of it, don't get me wrong, but would you rather like get $250,000 from somebody that's an asshole and doesn't care about your career, is gonna treat it like a job, or get maybe $50,000 and be around somebody that is a good dad, a good parent, and a good leader and a good mentor? You know what I mean? Like, you can't rent culture. You gotta do that every day. And that's why I got Belton. That's why I came here. He wanted to be a part of something. He was ready to quit. He didn't want to do it anymore. He wanted to be here. So I appreciate that. A lot of the guys that I get, they appreciate it. There's a lot of guys that right now they don't appreciate anything. And in 5 years they'll call me and apologize. Guaranteed. It happens all the time. Just because they get it now. There'll be a high school coach or a middle school coach and those kids don't give a shit about them kind of thing. They'll be like, I didn't see what you're talking about now. I apologize for acting like that or whatever. Technical side, of course we do. We have individuals all the time. Our practices are very in-depth. We run a Division I program, basically. I do have to narrow it down to where I am preparing these guys for the 4-year level. We're not trying to win the D1 national title here. We're trying to get better at our sport. That's it. With conditioning and strength conditioning stuff, that's what I went to school for. That's what I'm licensed in, everything. So I know anything and everything about it. I work well with our athletic training room, so we don't have to fill up down there. When we work out in the mornings, they got their own exercises. We have a list, we have the paper from Jake and Connor and everybody. I have a chiropractor in Goddard and Wichita lined up to where if somebody needs some extra help, they go up, they drive a group of guys up there, they get adjusted or whatever, and come back down. You know, so we got really, with all the work that I do, and I do all this for free, with all the work that I do around the state, you get more benefits because people care and want to see you succeed. So not only this town, but, and it's sad because I feel like I get more support when I step foot off of this campus more than I do when I'm on. But I'll take it. So much that this town is building this pavilion over by the track and field complex. And we're gonna, indoor tennis will have a spot, or tennis will have a spot, but indoor tennis will have like full-size courts. We're gonna have a facility that's gonna be a Division I facility. It's gonna have 4 full-size mats, area for workout stuff, a sauna inside of it, and 2 locker rooms, because we're thinking about adding women's wrestling and all that stuff. And I am still a team player, because they're like, on the other side, we'll just put turf down. I was like, that is an easy fix, but why in the hell do we need more turf? We don't need any fucking turf. You know what we need? Track needs a locker room. Like football needs a locker room. What about the visiting teams that come and play here? What about the visiting teams that need bathrooms? We need more of that stuff on the other side instead of just filling it with turf to where anybody can go in there and just mess everything up. They're like, well, we need an indoor turf and stuff. I was like, no, there isn't an indoor baseball season. We play outside. Okay, who gives a shit? There isn't an indoor softball season. There's an indoor tennis season. There's an indoor track season. But don't sit here and try to inform, because no offense to baseball, but what the mayor said was, we are tired of doing everything baseball-wise. We got more fields than you can think of. We got everything. What is a sport in town that's really huge that can benefit from this? Because we have a wrestling club in town that has 120 little kids in it. They have 3 separate practices at the same time at different locations sometimes. That's crazy to me. They don't have anywhere to go. We need a bigger room, so we collaborated with the town and did that. It was phenomenal. If you want me to be honest with you, they need to tear down both baseball and softball, your facilities over there, and combine it and then split it. More room, more area, all that stuff. Have you guys ever seen LSU's indoor facility, like softball? Stupid. They have an indoor field, like the actual field indoor. And they're doing, like, they're playing, like when it's too hot outside or whatever, it's insane. We can't do that here, but we can make things a lot better. Because if you have that, it's more room for you. I know it's like a cubby hole in there already. Like, you can fart and smell it for 2 weeks. So small in there, you know, so it's like whatever. We gotta quit skimming things down and all that, but I think the main thing for me with this is like, I'm not saying I put my life on hold, I'm single, I don't have kids or anything. A lot of people do, and they make excuses as to why they can't do things. So during the summer, I'm traveling everywhere. This summer, I'm going to Milwaukee for junior duels. I'm going to Oklahoma City for Southern Plains. I'm going to Fargo, North Dakota for the national tournament. And all these kids want me to coach them at all these places. Like, some of these guys do have families and do that, and their wives and girlfriends and their kids love that they get to see their dad coach. I would like something like that instead of leaving somebody disappointed back home. So it's very delicate there, but that's the type of leadership that I want to have with that. And then after that, they're like, do you have a vacation? I was like, well, I went to Las Vegas like 2 weeks ago. I don't like people too much. So going to Las Vegas, I just sat in the house. Everybody else was like, oh yeah, it's a great opportunity for our guys to see US Open. That's how good some of my guys are. So you got the U20 division, so you're either 20 years old or lower, and we're wrestling against the best in the country. Like my heavyweight, he beat 3 Division I guys. that gets him looks everywhere you go. It's no different than a baseball showcase or a basketball showcase, all-star event, whatever. But the senior level was there, so these are guys that are going after the Olympic championships and on the world teams and stuff. So we get to see everything. We get to see our competition coming in too, because we weren't on the JUCO there, which is really good. I've had, with the leadership style that I've coached 5 world team members since. One of them went to school here. While he was here, he made the world team. That's never been done in junior college before. And I did it, and Dr. Coward said I couldn't do it, which pissed me off because I can. So the next year, within 2 years, I did it. Okay, and then and the thing is that he made the world team, right? He still didn't win the national championship. He lost in the finals to a guy that ended up being a D1 qualifier. That was, kid was pretty good. Okay, so that's how tough our level is, so I gotta get my kids prepared. So when you think about those questions, you gotta think of the mental, the physical, the conditioning and everything. You gotta prepare them for the highest level. You don't wanna just prepare them to win at JUCO. Because you prepare them to win at JUCO, grades are gonna slip. If you just settle and you start negotiating with yourself, maybe we're too whatever. It enters my mind sometimes, it's like, man, maybe these guys need a day off or something like that. Well, we can't take a day off, I already give them a Saturday. It's based off of the field during the week. And I gotta take it day by day, because I can't think ahead, I can't think back. Can't play catch up either, you gotta do it now. So that's kind of our philosophy. Anybody else?
Colton, do you have one?
That answered part of it, but you said you like to recruit Kansas to grow the state. What is something that you're looking for from the people from Kansas, like when you're recruiting?
Well, I had a really good setup to where, yeah, I didn't have a, this thing's pissing me off. I didn't have a assistant coach for like 13 years, but I've got 20 around the state. So these guys are high-level guys, they're just high school coaches, you guys know that. It's like, you'll have a guy that probably, like, we got guys that are D2 All-Americans, D1 National Qualifiers, D1 All-Americans, all of that. They're at high schools right now. I think that I had a step ahead of the game, but it took me a long time to get it. They were like, this guy's from North Carolina. I remember the message boards of when this job opened, and then somebody said, and I'll never forget this, it said on the message board in 2011. Pratt Community College jobs open. Oh, that's like the 5th coach in like 4 years. Yeah, I think they're hiring within. It was like, this guy sucks though, he's from North Carolina. Now everybody wants to send their kid here. You know, North Carolina wants me back. Like, no. Okay, so, Josh Carroll was a 2-time state champ, 4-time finalist, D1 national qualifier. Was one of my best friends. He was a 3-sport All-American in high school. Like he's Darren Sproles' best friend. Played with Darren at Olathe North. He was a high school All-American in baseball. He qualified for NCAA's his freshman year, true freshman year, in wrestling at Appalachian, which is hard to do. You're a consensus All-American back then, so he doesn't claim that because he's one of those try-hard guys. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't care about that. His dad got sick. He came back and played at Johnson County because that's where Olathe is. Played Johnson County fall baseball, got offered 6 figures right off the bat because he was that good. Didn't play baseball for a whole fucking year. And they were like, we need this guy. The Royals were trying to actively like trying to get him into the farm system. And he was like, no, go back. Idiot. Like, but I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't have, you know, so his footprint and him saying, you better get this guy, really put me into this position. So now it's like, Josh, what do you think about this guy? It's like, I hired him for a reason, he's the real deal. So then everybody started sending me their kids. So I'm getting the best kids in the state. Hayes isn't. Okay, Newman's not. The NAIAs in the state aren't. if they're a really good Division I wrestler, at some point, they were probably coached by me at Fargo and all these national tournaments and stuff, or they know me and ask for help, and their parents do too. I'm not saying that I'm the gateway, but I was a part of that, and I don't want any credit for it. It is what it is. But I had one kid, his name's Jared Sema, he wrestles for Northern Iowa. He had a hell of a run at the D1 national tournament last year. He didn't know where Pratt was. And his dad would call me and say, Jared's going to Journeyman in New York to wrestle. All right, cool, he wants you in the corner. He wants you to be up there. I went everywhere with him. And for 2 years, he didn't know where Pratt was. He's like, where is Pratt? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You are from Kansas, you should know where this is, and I've been coaching you for like 3 years. You know, so he told me if I ever moved up or anything, he's transferring where I'm going. I was like, no, you're not. You got a great coaching staff, whatever. He's like, yeah, you're right. So a job opened up at UNI. He said, why don't you apply for it? I was like, I don't know if I'm that good. He goes, well, they say you are. I'll let people speak for me in that part. So when Kansas is good, I love being a part of that. I want to be a part of Kansas starting a Division I program because we don't have one. I want to be that leg up. There are a lot of, when you start doing things very well by yourself with minimal help and then everybody's behind you, there's like this little group over here that are just full of shit and they're haters. And they tried to take me down last year, and that's kind of why we didn't have a lot of Kansas kids in our lineup last year. And then some people were like, why would anybody say any bad things about Kepley? He's helped us stay out or whatever. So we had one program and one coach that was facilitating all that. And I kept my mouth shut and I just went to work and we beat that school. We beat the fuck out of that school, by the way. Still, that school, the guy that was doing it ended up getting fired. And then the other coach ended up getting fired from different positions and all that stuff from what I worked for the summer and spring. So guess what? When you keep your mouth shut and you just work, everything works. You get online and start being get Twitter fingers and sitting here talking trash and doing all these subliminal texts or whatever and all that. I don't do that. I'm face to face. So when you keep your head down, you just keep working, everything ends up falling into place. And now we're overloaded. Like, we're going to be very tough. I'm like 2 or 3 signees away from doing something special at this place. And we had those 2 or 3 on campus, and we have one more tomorrow. So we got one later on or next week. So we got a lot going well for us, but it's because I invested in the state of Kansas. Because at the beginning when I was here, Mike Jack can tell you that, he would say, we weren't allowed to go out of state and get out of state kids. We had like 4 out of state scholarships. And every time I got those guys, they were terrible people. They were not good human beings. So I was like, nah, I gotta stay in state. And if I got an out-of-state kid, it is what it is. Now it's more of, if I'm going after an out-of-state kid, it's gonna be a referral to me. Somebody's gonna call me about him. I'm not gonna just sit here and look at the spreadsheet and say, oh, I'm gonna get this kid, this kid, this kid, because it'll give you this one too. If I bring in a walk-on from the state of Kansas through that door, the school automatically gets like $2,000 to $3,000. Just based off of that. I think the school gets $2,000 to $3,000 whether they're on scholarship or not.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like they get money when we get Kansas kids coming in. So why not help the school, but also grow the state? Because if I'm not growing the state, I'm not doing my job. We're a community college, we're supposed to. So there's a graphic after last year's national tournament, we took 3rd in the country. And it had the top 5 teams. And it said, who won? Western Wyoming. Out of state, it said in-state, out-of-state, international. So Western Wyoming had 10 out-of-state wrestlers, 0 in-state, 0 international. Second place team was Iowa Central. They had 2 in-state, 8 out-of-state, 0 international. Third place, Pratt Community College. 10 in-state, 0 out-of-state, 0 international. fourth place teams, Clackamas, we beat them by half a point. They had 0, 10, or 9-1. So these people were getting international guys, and when we have international guys, I remember the old coach E.T., he played against Albert Pujols in his conference. Albert Pujols is not from this planet, I don't think, okay? So when we wrestle against international guys, these guys are world-level athletes, okay? Like, it's not like track to where it's like, oh, we could get this person with it. No, this guy is on the Mongolian world team. He is 26 years old and beating the shit out of my kid that just graduated from Atwood at 17. You know what I mean? I don't see that as fair, but we end up beating them anyway. Okay? He wrestled a guy, I don't know if you know this, but he's top 20 in the world. He wrestled him in the final and beat him. He lost to his brother 2 years prior, who is now at Arizona State. They're from Uzbekistan. That's what we have to compete against. There are 2 guys from, like, Indian Hills won it this year. They had 4 guys that were from outside the country. We're the only team that had, like, that was in the top 10 that didn't have an international guy on the team. That bothers me because we're community college. Like, what the hell are we doing? Supposed to, like, technically a community college is like, you have this quadrant right here, you gotta make do what's best. And you start leaking into other parts of the states where other JUCOs are. So, and I know in baseball, you guys got Dominicans, Venezuelans, everything out there. Fucking tough. You know, you're just like, man, I came to this level because I'm not developed yet, I want to develop. And then this dude comes in throwing fucking 145 mile an hour fastball from can't even speak English. Like, it's like, I didn't sign up for this shit, you know, so, like that, those are the things. So, like, if you grow the state, everything else fall into place, but that's how you get your fans, that's how you get your philosophy around, that's how you get everything going. Like, they did an article on me in Win Magazine, which is like the biggest, it's like Sports Illustrated for wrestling, and they were, like, I got interviewed for it, but I got picked to do that out of the state. There's so many candidates that are from Kansas that they did that and they picked me. And I was beside Steve Mocco, who's probably one of the biggest names in wrestling. So we had 2 articles beside each other. I was like, that made me feel good. USA Wrestling named me Southern Plains Person of the Year last year. I don't even know how I got that award, but that means that everybody else in the Southern Plains Regional, which is like Minnesota down to Texas, nominated me to do it. And the guy that I lost to was, for the national one, was Ben Askren. You guys know who that is? Yeah, so I lost to him. Came in second. He's pretty, I'm not beating Ben Askren at all. So, it's like little things like that I put on my like little hat where I'm like, I got that, makes me feel good, but nothing matters to me but see these guys get a team trophy. But I want to do it with all Kansas kids, but when you have haters, you got people that believe it, and then it isn't even my job to prove them wrong. It's more of my job to just keep working and not even pay attention to them, and then say, I made a mistake. There's so many parents out there that said I should not have sent my kid there. I should have sent him to you. It's like, okay. A lot of the things too, a lot of problems we have is, well, you know, you got this guy here. I'm not gonna start and I'm gonna beat him, so I'm gonna go somewhere else so I can start. So you want your ass whooped by him in front of everybody. Doesn't make any sense to me. You wanna be a part of this or do you wanna be against it? So that's how I see it. I don't take it personal or anything, but, you know, growing the state is my first thing, and to do that is to win here. So, I've been offered other JUCO jobs, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. Jumping into another JUCO is like seeing if the grass is greener, and if I've been watering the grass over here for so long, why would I leave? So, we got time for like
One more.
one more question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably already said it a bit, but just wanted to just reiterate. So what is the standard you hold your team accountable to be able to win year by year as you all have with the wrestling team success?
How many of you guys, like, you miss class or late to a meeting or call it a bag of weed or, like, what's the punishment? Like, what's y'all's punishment?
It's like conditioning before and every practice for like 3 months, or like basically like a month.
Fuck, okay. Anybody else? What's women's basketball's punishment?
We have color pushes.
Okay. Track,
Really not compete.
that's one. Okay. But like, this is what we do. If it gets that bad, I'm like, all right, you're not competing this week. You know what I mean? And that's the main thing here. But I make them clean. Because extra conditioning can result to injury. Towel pushes can result to injury. Things can result to injury when you try to punish them. I used to do it. Don't get me wrong. I went through it. I never got in trouble, but I would sit there and watch people do pencil rolls on the football field. That shit was hilarious. Like, they're just going like this, so they're going longer. They have to hit the goal line. So they just keep going this way onto the track and stuff. And they'll puke because they're dizzy. It's like, well, show up on time. You won't have to do that. So on a Friday morning, 4 a.m., gotta be there at 3:45 because I have a 15-minute rule. 4 a.m., you're down there, smells like bleach. Weight room's gotta get clean somehow. I love to help, so they sweep and clean every single thing down there. Like one day we had a lot because people didn't do what I asked them to do over nationals about getting their homework in and doing all that. They went to their teachers making up excuses. The teacher gave them a little bit. I don't like that. Don't lie to your teachers like that. So we had like about 10, 11, 12 guys down there. We moved all the mats, got the concrete underneath, wiped the blue mats, moved the black mats, everything. About 3 hours. Then we had a workout. So we clean. That's what we do. That's the biggest thing. You want to take something that's of value from an athlete, sleep. Make them wake up earlier. Ain't video games, I ain't your parents. Y'all play video games all you want. Sometimes that's like a release. I would just start your day earlier and just make you do that. And then some people still don't get it. That's the great thing. They still don't get it. So they'll show up 1 minute late and you gotta wake up 2 hours earlier for practice. Make that make sense to me, you know what I'm saying? So, take competition away. I've done that before. I've done that recently. But that's gotta be like, hey man, you're not getting it. You need to reevaluate yourself and just go back and think about what you did, kind of thing. So, but I'll let them do that. It's like a get out of jail free card and then still compete. But then the next week, they missed another class. I have a lot of high standard things. Like we have a certain way that we send emails to our teachers. Okay, 15 minutes before, like if I say, hey, we're gonna meet at 5, he knows to be there at 4:45, ready to go. Ready to go at 4:45, because if we get out 15 minutes earlier, we get out 15 minutes earlier. Some guys just come straggling in, they're still doing their warm-up. I'll see you Friday morning. What you're wearing on the travel bus, everything. It's not prison, it's a standard, because when you go to the D1 level, which you guys wanna be at, dude, if you were at Adidas school and you get caught in Nike, you get fined $250. I'm training you for that, whether you like it or not. You do that shit at work, guess what happens? They're gonna fucking fire you. Like, you gotta be in uniform, right? So it's like, you gotta do those things. We're sponsored by Under Armour, we're sponsored by Scrap Life. They reach out to sponsors. It's Under Armour Wrestling, but whatever. These guys get a lot of gear for it. But when we are set in that Pratt Community College realm, we're branded, so we need to do that. So I do punish them for that. I don't punish them money, I punish them time. So that's kind of like the standard. Like, we go early to make their day shorter. We do an hour study hall every day just to make it routine. Like, it's little minute things that separate us from everybody else. And how you do anything is how you do everything. So we try to do that. And the reason why we finished 10th and not where we were supposed to is because we didn't have enough people that jumped on the ship. We had too many people that were just kind of like fishtailing on the back of the boat. So next year we got freshmen that are gonna come in and run the ship next But that's the difference, it's just little things, just not anything big.
All right. Well, we're out of time. Give Mr. Kepley another round of applause. And everything's set up for your assignments. Have a great day. We'll see you back here on Friday.